Hi everybody, Crafty Chefdiamond here. How are you? How are you? I'm doing good. Wow, it is Saturday, April, what is it? I can't keep up with the date, you guys. It's April 18th. I just got home from our first wedding in 17 years that I was at Ingleside Christian School / church. We've had quite a few funerals, but this is our very first wedding, and it was amazing. Pastor Ben, our pastor, his oldest son, Ethan, married Abby. She was our K3, K4 assistant teacher last year, and she's at another school right now. And anyways, it was a beautiful wedding. It really was. I enjoyed every bit of it. The ceremony was quick. Her dress was beautiful. The whole wedding party was great. And then we went outside while they were taking their pictures. And we had some appetizers, and then we had a full lunch. And then Ethan's sister, Kate, she made the cake. It was beautiful. It was all gluten-free because Ethan has some health issues. He's a diabetic, as well as he can't have any gluten whatsoever. So it was really, really good. The weather here in Virginia, in the DMV, has been amazing. A lot of pollen, a little bit of wind, some sinuses. I normally don't have allergies with the pollen season, but it kind of hit me this year. But I'm surviving. So on our way home, I received a phone call, and I was able to a message that I could vote early. So instead of waiting on Tuesday, I voted. Yes. Anyways, I hope my vote goes the right way. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens by the end of the week. All right. I just want to welcome everybody in to my craft table today. And, right now with Diamond Paint with Friends, I'm the lead person for Diamond Paint with Friends. And wow, I'm just having a great time. This month is the 80s, and that is being hosted by Scarlet's Little Crafty Corner. And then I'm doing the military / first responders, and I'm having a good time. And I want to thank everybody who is participating. We are a small group, but it's growing every single day. And I just made some postings today. Hopefully I can get back to of our group. This is what our Facebook group looks like. And you'll see there's the military first responders. There's the 80s. Scarlet puts up some trivia every single day and an affirmation from the 80s. Having so much fun. I just posted to get ready for our 3-year celebration. So yeah, I'll go over that in just a moment. And then here's for the military first responders. Here's for the first responders. I am trying to set up a tour of either Alexandria or here in Lorton, the firehouse. So, and do an interview with somebody. And I'm trying to see if I don't know. I can't make any promises. That's my game plan. I wanted to go to DC and go to the Navy Museum. And so I just don't have the opportunity in between with me working and doing my other things that I need to take care of. It's just not in the plan. So I'm bringing the Navy here with you. I'm going to celebrate the Navy today and talk about it. My father and my grandfather served in the Navy, and then my dad retired, and so did Grandpa. And then of course I stayed within the military, where my husband went into the service, and then of course our son went into the service, and they both are in the Air Force. But we're going to take a look at the Navy today. This is for entertainment purposes only. If my information is wrong, I apologize. I'm thicking it. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. All right, so without further ado, I still want to talk about Diamond Painting with Friends. So we go by each quarter. So in the description box, or I call it my show notes down below, I'm I always add what's in it for the quarter, and that's 3 paint-alongs. So this month is going to be, I told you, was the military first responders, and I'm hosting that. And of course, then we have the 80s. Scarlet's Little Crafty Corner is hosting that. And then for May is our 3-year celebration, and I'll go over that in just a moment. And then we're going into superheroes, and that's being hosted by Pampered with Diamonds, Nancy. And then for June is Take a Trip to the Beach, and that's going to be hosted by Diamonds and Things, Lois. And then, how neat, you're going to go to the beach, and then you come back and you're going to go work on the farm. And it's on the farm with True Vampire Crafts, Minz. And then we go into our 3rd quarter, and that will be August, September, and July, August, and September. And then we go October, November, and December. Okay, so if I go too much in advance with the Diamond Painting with Friends hostesses, it's just everybody forgets. So I think it's just, I like to do it by quarter, and that's good. That's good. So you can go visit. The links will be in the description box down below or my show notes. You can go check out their channels and subscribe. Okay. So wrapping up militaries and first responders, the next posting for week 3 will be April 23rd. Week 4 is, we're wrapping it up. Share your last progress or your finish on week 4, and that's April 30th. And then we're hitting the road to Disney. All right, so what I did for Disney, and I'm just going to go over what I put in the group. I have no, when I typed this up this morning, it was all together, and then when I posted it, I don't know what happened. And then I got a hold of Scarlet and I said, hey, how are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Okay, so let's get ready for our 3rd year anniversary Diamond Paint with Friends 2.0, celebrating with Disney. Use your imagination. We have Disneyland, which is your traditional, it's our very first Disneyland. These are ideas that you can do, okay? So you have Magic Kingdom, right? So you have Tomorrowland, you have the castle, and you have your classic adventures, the 7 Dwarfs, all the princesses. So if you have a canvas or any type of other artwork, all artwork is welcomed. Those are ideas that you can use from Magic Kingdom. Then we have Epcot, which celebrates innovation, international culture, and the World Showcase. So you have, hopefully you can Google Epcot and the World Showcase, and you have 11 countries, and you can pick out any country. Like last year I did Cafe Paris. It's a Hannah Lynn, and that represents Epcot, and I think I used it for food as well. I think I did a food paint along, and I used the croissant and the cappuccino in Cafe Paris for that paint along, so you can double dip. And then you have the Imagination Wonder. You have Figment, the Imagination. You have Fast Track. There's Star Wars is in Epcot. There's so much in Epcot. Okay, and then we have Disney Hollywood Studios. So we have movies, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, and we have Toy Story. And then you have Animal Kingdom. And so you can do focus on nature, animal conservation, the world of Pandora, the world of Avatar. And then Disney has 2 water parks, and they have Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach. So if you have any type of a beach scene, can work with this as well. And all crafts are welcomed. We have diamond painting. We were a diamond painting group, and then now we've introduced new crafts, so everybody can do whatever craft that they want as long as it matches the theme of the month. So we have Legos, puzzles, cross stitch, knitting, jewelry making. If you know how to do glass blowing, go for it. Whatever craft that you would like, and it's Disney related, go ahead and share it. Okay, so the event is May 1st through May 31st of 2026. There are no requirements. No new start required. You can use last year's WIP if you didn't finish, because I do Disney every single year. Any size is welcome. Budget friendly is welcome. Premium is welcome. And there's no Google form. Remember, we are a private diamond painting group or crafting group. So in order for any of your photos to move forward, they have to be approved. And so please use the hashtag. So the hashtag is going to be, let me get down here, hashtag 3-year celebration DP. All right, let me back her up here. And then I'm going to do a grand prize drawing, and that's going to be on June 4th. I always do some type of a drawing or a giveaway for our anniversary date with Diamond Painting with Friends when we started 3 years ago. All right, so May 1st, I asked that everybody share their beginning photos in the Facebook group of your starting or your whip, or whatever you're working on that's related to Disney. Then May 8th is your 1 week progress or a finish. May 14th, week 2, progress or a finish. May 21st, week 3, progress or a finish. May 28th is week 4, is a finish or a progress, and we're going to close the event. June 4th would be the grand prize drawing, and on May 28th is when I probably ask everybody to do your posting on the last week to make sure that you're eligible for the giveaway. And then again, like I said, it's hashtag 3-year celebration. And if you're interested, you know, you can let me know in the comment section of this video, as well as the Facebook group. I have a lot of people that are already signing up in the Facebook group. It's good to follow along your creators on their YouTube channel, as well as in the Facebook group. They kind of go together. So if you're interested and you have your friends that do like to celebrate Disney, welcome, welcome. I've got my little props here for my Disney. Got a castle here. I have 2 castles. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm so ready. But right now we are still working on the 80s, and we are still working on military first responders, and I'm having a good time. So the first responders and the military is going pretty good. We went to the Air Force Museum. We did an Air Force monument, and then I did the Army Museum, and now we are going to celebrate a little bit of Navy. And I'm going to kind of feature my dad a little bit. I have some memorabilia of my father, but before I get into that, let me move all my stuff here. I wanted to finish this, but I was so tired after getting ready for the wedding, because the wedding, they're using my school kitchen, so I had to stay late, and then I had to do my financials. But I did finish the sunset. The only thing, the sunset is done, and then I just have this one palm tree, you guys, and then I have my planes, trains, and automobile / the 80s is finished, and I'm hoping I can get to 1 mini like I shared before. So yeah. Oh, I'm a slow one here. I'm slow. My diamond painting has slowed down a lot, but I'm still enjoying myself, because diamond painting is all about calming down, using it for anxiety. If you have mental health issues, crafting is really a good thing to do. It's kind of like when you sit down and read a book, you just kind of decompress. But I like to decompress in artwork, in diamond painting. All right, so now this is my coming home, and I was, let me see if I can move this up here. This is from Diamond Dots, and I'm really enjoying the process, and the sparkle is really good on this. I was trying to work on just the soldier, but, oh, here goes, okay. Let me move some. Okay, so I kind of started it out this way, and then because this was just like too much of the sand, you get kind of bored with that. So I thought, all right, let me start working on him. But then I had to start working on this, and I might work on this tonight after I'm finished with the palm tree. But I got his little satchel done and his boots, and look at the sparkle. Isn't that beautiful? He's going to look great. He's going to get framed up. So I'm proud of this. Diamond Dots, you did good. I really like it. It has, I think has 30 colors. I'm enjoying the process. It's a slow process, but I'm enjoying it. And I still have a few more weeks. I still have 2 more weeks to go. So that's okay. It won't get finished, but it'll just be added to that whip list. But retirement is 6 weeks away. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. All right, so let me get this out of the way. All right, so the Navy. The Navy opened up their organization October 13, 1775. And I have some memorabilia here. This is from my dad. My dad is no longer with us. He passed away in 2018. He loved his Navy. I'll tell you, he loved his Navy. He actually, he dropped out of school when he was 13 years old, and he joined the Navy. He got his GED, and he joined the Navy, and he loved the Navy. He served 21 years. If you would have asked him 2 months before he passed away, would you go back in the Navy? He'd go back in a heartbeat. So yeah. So what did my dad do? I only have memories, and I've seen a few of his reel-to-reels. My memories are, I was born in Hawaii. He was on the George Eastman ship in Hawaii. I was born in 1963. And then we went to California. I do remember a little bit about California. And then my greatest memory, we were at Great Lakes Navy facility, Illinois. So that's about as much as I remember. And then after he retired in 1972. He had a heart attack, and they medically retired him. To show you a little bit about my dad in his early days in the Navy, he lived on the aircraft carriers, and he lived on the George Eastman ship. He talked about that ship all the time. All right, so my dad was a deep sea salvage diver, and this is the uniform that he would wear to go down in the sea to get, I had to look it up because I couldn't figure out, okay, what kind of stuff did you salvage? And so, of course, he was part of the Vietnam War, and I took my notes here. All right. So let me put this up here again so you can see this. Okay, so this outfit is called the Mark V Deep Sea Salvage suit. And the U.S. Navy is called the Mark V Deep Sea Suit. And it served from 1916 and was decommissioned, the suit, in 1984. So they wore these same ones, but they've upgraded. Yeah, isn't that crazy? The helmet weighs 54 pounds. The belt, 84 pounds. The outfit itself is 12 pounds. It's kind of like a rubber canvas suit. The shoes are 17.5 pounds each, and it's total lead soles. And so the total weight of the shoes is 35 pounds, and then the whole suit itself is up to 200 pounds. But yeah, see, he wore that suit. And so what does a salvage diver do? During World War II, the U.S. Navy salvage divers were tasked with removing sunken ships, downed aircrafts, cargoes to restore naval capabilities, retrieved crucial military assets such as ammunition, torpedoes, fuel oil, while also recovering sensitive documents and the remains of personnel. Now, he never talked about having to pick up any remains. And I don't think that he would ever have said that. I think he took that to his grave. He might have had stories amongst his Navy friends, but he pretty much, you know, he left that to himself. Let's see. The work involved clearing wreckages, patching the hulls of the ships, and removing equipment from heavy damaged ships like those at Pearl Harbor. I'm talking about the big ships at Pearl Harbor that were, of course, that was my grandfather when Pearl Harbor got blown up. All right. So then his favorite ship that he talked about of all times, and that was the George Eastman. And that's this ship right here. This ship, let's see if I got my information on this ship. It's on my phone. Hold on, guys. All right. The George Eastman, World War II era Liberty ship. It was a Liberty ship, and it was converted by the U.S. Navy in 1953 into a technical research ship for nuclear fallout testing, and Project SHAD is called Shipboard Hazard and Defense, Chemical and Biological Testing. It operated primarily in the Pacific, testing defense measures against contaminants until it was decommissioned in 1975. All right. Okay, the Navy conversion, acquired by the Navy in April 1953. It fitted with the scientific equipment to monitor nuclear explosions. Operation role served as a robot ship, remotely operated to test shipboard contaminants and protection against the biological and chemical aerosols in the Pacific, particularly around Hawaii throughout the 1960s. Well, guess what? I was born in 1963, so he was serviced on that ship with those chemicals. Now, at the end of my dad's life, he had a lot of medical issues, and sometimes it takes a lifetime for chemicals, or if you were exposed to Agent Orange from the Vietnam War, for some of these stuff to come up. There was kind of like 9/11. After 9/11 happened, and the all the chemicals from those buildings and stuff that was destroyed, all those firefighters inhaled all that contaminants, and a lot of them died of cancer, but it didn't show up for at least, it's been 25 years since that happened. So they are now showing signs of, a lot of them have passed on now, but they did not show their signs till later on, maybe 10 years after 9/11. That's the same thing with my dad. He had a lot of medical problems, and then his feet were completely numb. He walked with complete numb feet all the way up to his kneecaps for at least 15 years. And he was one who never complained. Never, ever. See, we talked about the... Okay, a little bit about the George Eastman. The length was 442 feet, 135 meters. There was 4 officers on there and 45 enlisted men. That means my dad was one of them. There was no women on the ships in those days, not even for nursing, as far as I know. It was steam tripled expansion. So my dad had 2 broilers. So if my dad wasn't doing salvage diving, he was working in the broiler rooms. And my mother used to always say, that's why he's got so many crow's feet. It's from all the steam in the broiler room. Okay. Now, my father also was on aircraft carriers. And here's a good example of one right here. And then he would always talk a lot about King Neptune's ceremony and crossing the equator. You're a polywog. And then once you go through, it's hazing. Back in the 50s and early days, it wasn't a fun initiation like it is now when you cross the equator. They went through some stuff. And I do have a little clip, if I can share it with you. Now, there is some cursing in it, but it gives you a pure example of the treatment that my father went through back in the late 50s, early 60s when he crossed the equator. So hold on one moment, please. Again, there's going to be some dirty language in here, and I apologize, but it's Navy. They have dirty mouths. All right.
So before you cross the equator, you are a polywog. You're the lowest scum of the world. After you cross and you go through the ceremony, you're a shellback. And you go through just a day of just crap. They wake you up and they beat your ass with these fire hose. You just get your ass beat the whole time. You go up to the forecastle and you have your polywog bath. They bathe you with a fire hose. I mean, you're crawling on your hands and knees. Your knees would get just ripped to shit as you're getting beat. And then you got to go through trash chute. You got to go through the baby with olive and this fucking whatever, the grease they put on him. And they rub your face in his fucking belly. There's also the day before, which is the pageant. So they have guys dress in drag to be the wog queen. And they're filming this, okay? I was in the pageant. It was terrible. As long as you got into your rack before midnight that night, you'd be okay. They couldn't fuck with you. But if you're walking around and you weren't on watch, you were full game, man. And they'd take you down to the fire room and they would beat your ass. I think by the time I got done, my knees were completely bloody and my ass was black and blue. So before you cross the equator, you are a polywog. You're the lowest scum of the world.
Okay, so I did see reel-to-reels of the initiation. And my dad would talk about it because when he was a polywog, he was one of them. But after he became a shellback and he was a chief mechanic's mate and he was on his ship and they crossed the equator, he was one of the higher guys up there who did the initiation of the hazing. And so he would actually film it. And I wish I had the actual film, but I remember seeing it, and it's in his yearbook as well. You get a Navy yearbook. But there is the big baby. There's a big baby. He's wearing a big diaper, and they hit your butt with wood. And then you go through piles and piles of garbage that they saved for weeks, and you have to crawl through it. Then you have men that were crying because they blindfold you, and then they think they're going to walk on real ice. I mean, not on real glass, but it's ice cubes. Then they do rub your face into the judge, and it's the crew grease that they get from the boiler room. And so, yeah. And like the guy said, you know, your knees would be bleeding because it's an initiation that you have to go through. And then I was trying to think about this flag because after my father passed away, I was able to get some of his belongings. And I took this one flag, and then it came to me. Let's see. Did I take a picture of it? Hold on a second, guys. Because I was trying to gather information. Do you see this? After you become a shellback, and I was telling this to my husband, I said, you can tell this flag has been flown. Okay, so once you cross the equator, my dad had the flag. And I'm proud to be the owner of this flag. So, yeah. Anyways, and I didn't know that until today. I discovered it today. And the caption was, I had to do some Facebook research. After you cross and the ceremony is revealed, that they put this flag up. His previous emails and said that he was going to be in the talent show. Or maybe no. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole thing. But this was the flag, okay? And it was flown on the ship. I don't know if it was on the aircraft carrier. But it was sailed the 7 seas, maybe, in the Navy. Anyways, that's that flag. And then my dad had another portrait done, and that's at home. I don't know what's going to happen with that portrait. He's always loved the Navy and the emblem. And so he had one of his guys in his, my dad was a TI teacher as well. Once we got to Great Lakes, he didn't have to do the shipping anymore. They took him off the ships. And he was a TI, kind of like when you go to basic training, you go away from home for a while, and then you come back after training, and then you go to school to learn your trade. And that's what my dad did at Great Lakes. He had many of these, but this is the one that I picked out. These are his guys, and it says U.S. Naval Training Center. And so my dad would train these guys, and this is my father right here. That's him. You have the American flag, the Navy flag, and his school flag, and all his guys. And then this is graduation, and I've been to many of these graduations. And this one here, I was actually at this graduation. And then the guys, these guys are all in their 70s and 80s now. They would sign the back, but there were 65 of his students that were trained by my father. Now you see this flag right here? See that beautiful flag? Let me turn this right here. All right, check it out. This is all done in silk. It's hand done. There's his school flag. That's the one that's here in this picture. And I didn't have a date on this, so this was probably 1970. 1970. He retired in 72. My dad was moving. We were helping people at our church and to move a TV. They were moving, and he was having chest pains, and then come to find out, he had a heart attack, and they retired him. Actually, I have it done the wrong way. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. He loved this flag. It says, "Carry me and walk with honor." Isn't that gorgeous? Anyways, and I'm going to carry this to my forever home. So, and I'm glad I have this flag. Okay. So then my dad, he was a veteran, and he went to the VA, and he loved the VA. And this was his VA card, and I asked my mother if I could have it after he passed away. And that was my dad a year before he passed away. And then my son is in the service. My my dad went to every Navy type of ceremony you could think of after he retired. Even in Colorado, he would talk to the students and stuff. I need to back it up a little bit. Okay, so my dad was on an aircraft carrier, and we used to take, here's what it looked like. Before my dad would take off, okay, because remember the George Eastman was in Hawaii. But every time my dad would take off, we were allowed to go into the area, not his living quarters. We were able to go in the chow hall area, walk into certain visiting areas of the ship. And this is an actual coffee cup that they had on the ship. And then of course my dad had our pictures. Each one of us girls has one of these, but this is a Navy cup. And I wish I had one of their soup spoons. And I like one of my friends, Scarlet, from Scarlet's Little Crafty Corner. Dexter, that was me. I made that noise. Dexter, that's okay. In the Navy, it's called breakfast, dinner, and supper. And so back in the day, you should see their soup spoons. They are huge. Please, Dexter. It's okay. I think Daddy might be home. Anyways, all right, moving forward. But this is an original Navy cup from an aircraft carrier. All right, so then my son is in the service now, and he brought this home for my grandfather, for my dad, for his granddad. It says, Certificate of Authenticity. To all those who shall see these, I'm not going to word it word for word. Okay, this was flown over in an airplane in Afghanistan from June 4th to June 2019. Oh, I'm sorry. Back it up, Laura. Yeah, I'm getting nervous. This American flag and this certificate flew over from June 4th, 2019 to August 5th, 2019 in the support and resolute support mission in Operations Freedom Sentinel in Afghanistan. And this was presented in honor of Chief Petty Officer Thomas M. Powell, May 8th, 1935. And they got the date wrong. He passed away on the December 18th, 2018. On the behalf of Master Sergeant Joshua D. Habercorn, he was a Master Sergeant at the time. He is now a Chief. And trained, advised, assist, command the air of Kabul, Afghanistan. Now, what's so special about this is that this was presented to my father at a ceremony that my son presented and gave him the flag that flew from June 2019 to August 2019 in Afghanistan, and it is in my dad's casket. It was buried with him. So yes, and so this is very, very special. And then the one last thing that I was able to get from my dad, and that is this. He loved his, but he wore this hat everywhere. And this is off of his original uniform. I think actually it's off of his hat, his dress hat. These are some of his bars and his oak leaves. And then this right here is off of an American flag. And what it says, I am part of our American flag that has flown over the USA. I can no longer fly. The sun and the winds cause me to become tattered and torn. Please carry me as a reminder that you are not forgotten. Thank you from Colorado Homestead, Estes Park, Colorado. SupportOurTroops.org. You can see that he wore this all the time. This was his safari hat, and my sisters have his actual hats, and of course his actual dress hat he is holding in his hands in his new forever home. So that is my I don't know what to say. It is my contribute to the U.S. Navy. Love you, Dad. I love everybody who serves in the military, and you guys all do what you do. And so hopefully, in the next video, I want to get to Quantico, and that's where the Marines museum is. Maybe I can get the Space Museum. I don't know. I only have a little short time before this event ends, and I really need to focus in on first responders. I've been focusing on the first responders in the Facebook group, but I want to go do, these guys they work all the time. They fight fires. You have the police department. You have your medical personnel. What everybody does in our own individual communities. And so we need to be thankful for them. And so I think my next video will be, it's either going to be a little bit of military and maybe a little, I have to do first responders. They deserve a video, don't you think? And then it's time to get ready for Disney. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for visiting my craft table today. I apologize for me if my words were out of tune or I made any mistakes. I just really enjoy everybody who comes to visit me, and I enjoy visiting you guys, and I really enjoy this craft a lot. And I like any type of a craft, but diamond painting is my niche. I've been doing diamond painting since, well, I've been doing it 5 years now. 5 years. I don't I don't hurry. Sometimes I want to get something done and I'll push and push and push, but I really do enjoy doing the diamond paint with friends. That's my niche. That's my content. And I enjoy each and every one that shares all of their artwork with us in the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 Facebook group, and the creators that that sign up for their paint-along / events. And I just really do. I have a good time. I've met a lot of wonderful, wonderful crafters, and you guys keep doing what you're doing, and you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in my next video, and I'll be at your craft table real soon. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.